As a designated National Historic Landmark District, Mount Vernon not only honors the past, but evokes experiences far beyond time and place.
Mount Vernon is the perfect little slice of Europe in Baltimore City.
I personally always say it's like a little Greenwich Village in a way.
Mount Vernon is a lot like Greenwich Village in New York.
Just look around and you can see a European flair to the buildings. And I really love that.
A lot of people refer to Mount Vernon Place as Central Park of New York because it provides that outdoor space for people to read and play music and read poetry and that kind of thing.
Because of the different architectural styles, it looks like a little European city around here. You've got the Beaux Arts buildings like the Belvedere, you've got all these row homes which are classic federal style, you've got some that are brownstones and even some that have the white marble, very much like the marble used in the Capitol, which is pretty neat.
One of the most amazing things about Mount Vernon is that we are in the middle of so much history.
The colors of the neighborhood, the materials, the stone, the brick, the trim, the doors, they all tell a story. The buildings around these parks, around the Mount Vernon Place, were built by the people that were building America. The Peabody Conservatory, George Peabody laid the first transatlantic telegraph cables.
A lot of people don't know Emily Post lived in the neighborhood. The Duchess of Windsor lived in Mount Vernon. People don't know that Francis Scott Keys died in Mount Vernon. The Kenobi family, who was a competitor to the Steinways who built pianos, actually had a home here in Mount Vernon. The Engineers Club, before it was the Engineers Club, was the Garrett Jacobs Mansion, and the Garrett Jacobs their parents were the founder of the B&O Railroad.
When I stand in a building that's 200 years old, someone lived here, but someone was probably born here and someone most likely died here too. So the whole cycle of life has probably happened more than once in this building, and it's really interesting to think about that.
When you're in an older house, you realize how many lives have been lived in that same place, and there's a certain, it's nice. There's a certain settledness. It's like, oh, these places have embraced so many lives over maybe a century, and there's people have lived here. They've grown, they've loved, they've died here, and it's just that sense of. I don't know. It's got roots. This neighborhood has roots.
Every apartment I've lived in has that history and has that kind of quality that transports you to another time.
I've lived here for 8 years, and every time I look up, I see something different. There's a different cornice or a window or an architectural detail that just stands out one day because the light hits it just right.
I think, the people are choosing the spaces that they occupy, but the spaces are choosing them as well. And I think that that's a beautiful thing.
Just sometimes I walk, when I'm walking my dog and I'm walking by a building and I look up and there's a gargoyle. Like, where are you gonna live where it's raining and the water is coming down the rain spout out of a gargoyle's mouth? Where do you see that? Maybe in Rome.
Mount Vernon is a very walkable neighborhood.
I am a city person. I love being able to walk outside my door and have anything and everything I need within walking distance.
The walkability of this neighborhood is amazing.
Every day when I walk out, I know I'm going to see something I haven't seen before or heard something I haven't heard before. It's great.
Sometimes you'll get a little serendipitous musical experience because Peabody's right there. So you have people practicing, and it's not like listening to your kid practice trombone. These are people that came from all over the world. They're the best of the best that are studying classical music. So you're getting a free concert. It's pretty awesome.
Mount Vernon dogs. There's about 10,000 people in Mount Vernon and probably 2,500 dogs based on our last estimate.
This is Liba, and he loves the dog park. He loves being able to run around.
I have a little Yorkie poo. His name is Andrew Jackson.
He's a kissy dog, so don't get too close because he'll get you.
Last night I walked my dog actually, and I probably ran into 15 different people that were out walking their dogs, especially in the great weather.
Typical conversation that I have when I run into somebody is my dogs. They love my dogs.
Recently we had a dog park open in the neighborhood. It took the community about 8 years to get that fully opened, and this commitment through the city and the Downtown Partnership of Baltimore, we finally got that going.
There are so many dogs, and really that's probably the easiest way to talk to people. You go, oh, what's your dog's name and how cute your dog is, and everybody loves you to love their dog.
For the longest time, I knew the names of the dogs before I knew the names of the owners.
I can't go very far without somebody wanting to pet them or just hug them or whatever. It's just that they're my dogs. Not so much about me, more about the dogs, because they're little dogs, so they're cute. So, little mouthy, but cute.
Well, my history in this community dates back to when I was a child.
We are just an open community which trying to work and get our families the best we can.
There's a little stamp of each individual person who's lived here.
To put your feet where so many before you have walked.
That kind of thing sends chills up your spine.
This neighborhood in particular, over the last couple of years, I've started to see more and more families move in, which is exciting. There's more and more people, even around my age, that are having kids and deciding to stay.
I see a lot of young people in this neighborhood. I see a lot of strollers, I see toddlers. You know, that kind of vibrancy, when you see different generations in the same place, it's a sense that this place is alive.
Mount Vernon recently got some bike lanes, and I think that's really amazing.
You see bikes all over the neighborhood. In fact, about 5 years ago, we had a big push for businesses to put bike racks out in front of their businesses so that it was more of a bike welcoming community. The biggest challenge in Mount Vernon is continuing to grow the density in Mount Vernon. Because of the historic neighborhood, there's not a lot of space to develop. So we have 3 or 4 parcels that are still available to be developed. And if we can continue to get density like 500 Park Avenue apartments or 520 Park Avenue apartments, that would be very beneficial for the neighborhood.
I think the biggest challenge is that we tend to be a little bit of a transitional neighborhood because there are a lot of students that live here because we're surrounded by universities. So trying to build a sense of community among people that might not be here for their lifetime can be a little bit challenging.
Mount Vernon's challenges, in my opinion, is that we're just becoming expensive. The word is out. People love us. People want to move here. They want to be here. I remember the other day I was having a pizza at Never on Sunday, and there were 2 people that decided to do an impromptu marionette concert, and it was on this little curb. And they had a little bit of music in their phone and they were playing it, and these 2 marionette dancers would dance, and I just was like staring at them. I was like, I have to come over and watch these puppets. And it's just part of our community. It's just part of our neighborhood, and it's not something that's strange, but it's just something that you accept, and it's just something that you embrace, and it's beautiful.
This neighborhood is a wonderful place of characters. Not just architecturally is their character, but there's people that are characters.
You walk around and you see people with vibrantly colored hair. You see people who are dressed flamboyantly or just bizarrely, and you look at them and you go, I could never pull that off, but you look amazing.
What's the trite thing, you know, about people having rose-colored glasses? Like, I don't think we wear rose-colored glasses. I think we are wide open to, if the guy's got blue hair, we see it and we want to know about it. And there's probably several people that want to know where he had it done.
The secret of Mount Vernon is the people. They're friendly, and if you talk to people, they're involved in everything.
So we have an international presence. You never know who you're going to bump into and what their story is like.
Mount Vernon is like being a kid and getting the 64 pack of Crayola crayons with the sharpener.
I'm not a cook, but sometimes you like a dish with a lot of different flavors in it. That's Mount Vernon. A little spice, a little sugar, it's good.
I love it. They'd have to drag me kicking and screaming out of here.
For more information on Baltimore neighborhoods and full episodes of My Town, go to www.charmtv.tv.